Legend Honda XR400. I'm really impressed. I love it, man. It's plenty to have fun.
I'm going uphill, guys. This thing idles uphill first gear. Look at that. Look at that.
There's a little bit of everything, and when you put it together, the package you are getting, it's really hard to beat.
Easy to ride. That's number one thing for this bike.
This is the most beautiful bike I've seen in a very long time. What's up, guys? Rado here, and I'm looking at this very beautiful Honda XR400. This is 1999 Honda that belonged to Rich, who is Jay's Clark friend. And Rich started restoring this bike when Jay found out it was too late to stop him. So Jay jumped in and said, if we are doing this, we have to do it all the way. So this thing is your complete restoration. Everything on this bike is restored, touched, replaced, coated, cleaned, greased, you name it. Everything that you can do to XR400 was done, other than the big bore. Usually you would put 440 on these bikes. This is still a stock bike. So the first bike was stripped down to the frame and the subframe went to San Diego powder coating for sandblasting and this beautiful red color powder coating. Meanwhile, Brett from Parapros was working on the engine. So engine was stripped down and completely rebuilt with Y-Scope and Pro-X parts. And at the same time was also coated with this beautiful bronze color at Cenometal finishing. And as you can see the engine, all these bolts, and actually all the bolts on the bike are from Specbolt. So they look amazing, beautiful, shiny finish. So every single bolt on this build is from Specbolt restoration kit. Now the graphics are from Decal MX and the plastics are from MX Plastics. So looking at this thing, and also with the seat from the Moto seat, how everything comes together. Guys, I had this bike for 2 weeks in my garage. I was looking at it. Every time I come to garage, turn on the light, I was staring at this bike. I took like 100 pictures with my camera. I'm gonna show you all the pictures, and I'm just amazed how this thing looks. It was done to very last details. So the wheels are rebuilt, original hubs, they will Cerakoted with the new rims. Also, Brett from Parapros did that, and also he rebuilt the carburetor. So this thing is supposed to run really good. We got a Dunlop tires. In the rear, we actually have a nice gummy tire that is a trials tire. And I really like these tires on the little bit rocky or hard pack condition on the trail. Really good grip. So today this thing should feel really good. Suspension is completely rebuilt with race tech and the parts from Pro-X. So they set it for a really good plush off-road riding. I'm excited to see how this thing feels on the trails again. We got this beautiful looking FMF exhaust that is adding a little bit of power and also sounds really good. We got the Enduro Engineering handguards with the graphics from Decal MX that are custom made for this bike, and also a lot of little pieces from Works Connection that are just making this thing look a little bit nicer. One thing I really love is this little thing right here on the top of your frame that actually serves as your gauge for temperature, because the frame serves as an oil tank for this XR450. So I think it's really nice touch, looks amazing. Front headlight is from XR only, nice upgrade, nice touch, LED light, should work really good. Brakes are completely rebuilt with a Pro-X kit, Pro-X rotors front and rear, and also we are running Galfer steel braided red color lines that look really good and will give you really great feel for your brake levers. We are running an ODI setup for the front with the handlebars that have this crossbar and also ODI lock-on grips. Pro-X chain, rear and front sprockets. Now, IMS is making big tanks for these bikes, but Rich decided to go with a stock Honda size tank, but we are running something from IMS. These are IMS Pro Series foot packs. Today will actually be first time for me riding XR400. I never touched these bikes before. I heard a lot of good stuff about them and I'm really excited to finally ride it. These bikes started in 1996 and were made all the way to like 2003, I believe. And this is one great off-road bike that a lot of people love, have cult like following. A lot of people would race this bike. They will put a bigger bore on it. 440 was the most common they put on these things. They will do a little upgrades, and a lot of people enjoy these bikes. A lot of companies that have a rental fleet for off-road riding would have these XR400 bikes because they are just reliable. They feel really good. They're not that heavy, with 266 pounds dry and with around 32 horsepower. They just the right amount of fun, you know, ease of riding, rideability, and also super reliable. So this was a choice for many people, and even today many people have this bike in their garage and they still ride it. They don't complain about magic button, not having the magic button. They know how to kickstart this bike, and everything else on this thing should be super cool, easy to ride, easy to use. So I'm really looking forward to ride this thing and see how this 26 years old dirt bike feels on my trails and also on my track. XR400 is alive! Sounds pretty good! Smells really nice! I love the smell of older 4-stroke. They smell so different. Ah, I love it, man!
Oh, it's so plush, my goodness. Feels like I'm riding a sofa. And this thing doesn't want to die. Look at it. This is idle, right? It just idles uphill. I'm going uphill, guys. This thing idles uphill, first gear. Look at that. Look at that. I tried this with KTM 350 or something. You will be died 10 times here. Amazing. So this is a indestructible tractor that can take you out of pretty much every situation. Yes, it is not the fastest bike, it's not the flashiest bike, but let's talk about longevity and fun factor. This thing feels really fun. Just open it up a little bit and it screams. Sounds good. You're gonna try to stay in the third gear and do all this in the third gear. Should be kind of like your versatile gear you can stay on for a long time. Yep, pulls wheelies, no problem. Third gear. You can navigate on these bumps so easy because of the flashness of this suspension. Feels so nice. Racetech did a really good job to keep the characteristics of this bike. It's not a motorbike, you don't need to be jumping double, but it should feel really comfy on the trails, and this thing really does. Probably not possible to die on me. It just keeps going everywhere. This thing idles uphill. Alright, we stop in a really steep section. I'm in a second gear. Let's see if we can tractor up. This is absolutely amazing, guys. This thing doesn't even know what it is flame out. This is in second gear. You saw that section over there? No problem at all. I just sit on my sofa, keep the gas a little bit, and this thing pulls up, no problem at all. Wow.
right, guys, let's finish it while everything is hot. I just finished riding this XR400 on my backyard track, and I have to tell you, I'm really impressed. This thing is an old dirt bike, 1996 technology, 30 years old, almost 30 years old. Nothing changed on this thing. This one is 1999, but same as 1996, and they quit doing them in 2003. It just feels pretty competitive and fun even today when it comes to trail riding. No, it's not a motorbike. No, it's not the fastest trail bike. So it has a little bit of everything, and when you put it together, the package you are getting, it's really hard to beat. Seriously, like, I really understand why people love this thing, why this has a cult following, why so many companies would have fleet of these XR400s for the rental bikes. You will go to Himalayas, or you will go to Mongolia somewhere for the dirt bike trip for like 1 or 2 weeks, and you will ride this indestructible 4-stroke 400 air-cooled dirt bikes. They're super easy to work on, and they just feel amazing. Couple things that really surprised me that I didn't feel on other dirt bikes lately. Number one, it is impossible to kill this engine. Seriously, guys, it is impossible. This thing doesn't know what a flame out means. So I was going up this hill, and I was in a first gear, and I let go of a throttle, and I didn't touch the clutch at all. And it just tractor uphill, tong, 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 tong. It went all the way up. And then I tried the same thing in a second gear. You saw in the video so many times. I tried on a second gear, and I just give it a little bit of throttle in a second gear. I wasn't idling in a second gear, but I didn't touch the clutch. And I was just going tractoring up. You know, that's the most difficult when you ride a dirt bike, when you have these steep sections with some loose rocks. So you have to manage your throttle control, you have to manage the clutch, the balance and everything. And on this thing, if you get to this kind of situation, you can just sit on your seat, which is a pretty comfy seat, shift that second gear, crank that throttle a little bit, and this thing will take you uphill no matter how steep that thing is. Yes, I'm not talking about hill climbs when you are really steep and you have to keep it wide open and it's like a bunch of sand everywhere and you are just screaming uphill. That's probably not a hill climber, but in the technical sections, when this thing just tractors up, it doesn't die and it just stays planted to the ground. Really impressive. And that suspension, I keep calling it like I'm riding a sofa. It just feels so plush, especially on those trails. Man, going through those bumps, this thing just moves like 1 foot up and down. I can see it moving up and down, but it's just coping the terrain. And I'm on the top, and it's so smooth and really a different feeling. Like on the modern dirt bikes, you don't get that kind of feeling. You get comfort, but it's a little bit more firm, a little bit more sharp, like a carving knife a little bit, but this thing is so smooth and it's just like riding a sofa. This is what I keep saying on the video. So really surprising. But the power on that thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those gears just they want to go, and the sound, the FMF sounds really good. And man, I don't know how many horsepower we have here, maybe like 35 if I shoot the estimate. It's plenty to have fun on the trails, even on the track here. I just shift to third gear, and I did all the jumps that I do on my 350 that I ride here, and I'm riding hard at 350 to do all the jumps. Same thing I did on this thing. So I can imagine that if you revolve the suspension for motocross, if you maybe put a slightly different gearing on this thing and the better tires, because this is an off-road trail tire, so if you just set it for the motocross, you can do fun wet races on this thing, and you can be competitive and you can have a lot of fun. So one thing about this XR400 is fun factor. I think this is the huge thing for XR400. It's so fun to ride. It is doing everything you need it. It doesn't do one thing perfectly, but it does everything well. So you put it together again, it is really hard to beat package. So you can pick this one up for 1,500 or 2,000. You don't have to go all the way like Jay did with his buddy Rich. But if you do something like this, you have bike for years to come, 10, 20 years. This thing will always be cool. This thing will always ride well. The engine is bulletproof, especially now. Everything is done, all new Wiseco things inside. Brad from Parapros did his magic. So this thing will just run forever. Honestly, I wouldn't mind having this thing in my garage, but I would love to have it street legal, so then I can have one street legal off-road bike that is like a dirt bike on the plates, and I can go for these fun trips, Akatio Wells or Johnson Valley, or something that you are mostly on the fire road and you are on this like kind of bumpy road, so this suspension will eat everything. Not a lot of jumps, not a lot of like super hard technical sections, but something a little more flowy. This is an amazing desert bike, and even like a even technical riding you can do pretty well on this thing. So overall, man, I'm happy I could ride this old school air-cooled XR400. It surprised me. Like, if you ride older bikes, you're not really leaving too much out. If you don't have like 2025 or 2024, it's not that different. It's really not that different. The fun you can have on a bike, the feeling, you know, the adrenaline, all the endorphins I'm getting riding this thing, it's the same. You know, the feeling you get on the bike, really having something older in a good condition, there is certain beauty about it. And this XR400 that Jay did with his Body Rich is no exception. It's a beautiful machine. There is a beauty to it. Owning bike like this, building bike like this, and riding bike like this, there is a beauty to it. And I'm really stoked that I had a chance to ride it. All right, my friends, so if you have XR400, let me know below in the comments how you like this build, how you like this video, and what you like about your XR400, because I do think there is a lot of people out there. I know personally a few guys. Robbie, if you are watching, tell us below in the comments how you like your XR400, why is it such a good bike, why you have that bike for so many years. And you guys also, if you have the same bike, comment below and let us know why this Legend one-of-a-kind XR400 is such a good bike. Alright, my friends, well, that's about it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and don't forget, whatever you do, stay motivated. See you guys later.